Hey everyone, Kelly here. Today is day 5, and we're going to paint a violet using some watercolor. We're going to show you how to do it in this April 7-day flower challenge. Make sure that you use the hashtag flowerchallengecasey. And here is a full list of all of the flowers that we're covering in these 7 days. Now remember, if you can't do this right now, don't worry. This video and all the other ones will be up on YouTube, so you can pop back in at a later time if you need to. But please make sure you still use the hashtag and make sure to tag me at Chasse_fine art on Instagram, because once the challenge is over, I probably won't be going back in to view the hashtag quite as much. So if you want me to see it, just make sure you do that, and I'll be sure to still share it in my stories for you. We're over halfway done of our 7-day challenge, and today's painting for what are we on? Day 5? Day 5. You think I'd be able to remember this? I've only done a few paintings. My goodness. So we are in day 5, and today is violet. And I had a hard time again finding anything on unsplash.com, so I'm just going to wing this with what I remember. So I think that the violets have like 4 petals, almost like this heart shape, I believe. And if I'm wrong, somebody let me know. But this is what I could see from the pictures that I saw. So it kind of looks like this. I'm going to come out a little bit higher, a little bit further. Whoops. Yeah, I'm guessing it's kind of like a heart shape. I think that these ones were larger, and they did cover, so these look like they were underneath. And then I'm guessing it's more like an African violet. That's what I remember. And they had like these little yellow centers in there. And let's see, I don't think I really saw much of the stems, but let's go ahead and put in the African violet. Have like these big, almost rounded type leaves. They're fuzzy, waxy kind of little leaves. Let's see, do I want to do another one over here? Let's do it. We'll do it coming out here so it's like underneath. Oh, yeah. And you could always do like a background if you wanted to with more of these type of flowers, but we're just going to do one. So I'm going to erase some of my marks here. Not much, because I don't mind having those pencil lines in here. I think it looks kind of neat. And it's going to be a fairly dark color. I had to switch. You'll notice my desk is different here. It's the lighting's not good today. It's more of an overcast day. So I am doing this at my other desk. This is my resin desk that I did a long time ago. There's a YouTube video on how I did this top. Actually, my desk moves up and down, which has been great. I absolutely love the fact that I can move my desk up and down. Because I'll stand up sometimes and paint. Sometimes I'll sit down and paint. Get to do both that way. Okay, so we have it sketched in. Just eyeballing it. And again, I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but we're going to go with it. I did that before. I've done that many times. I don't look. It's just me. I don't have to be exact. I can make stuff up if I want to. So I'm going to go in with some clean water. And I'm going to be careful. I don't want to get this area here around, again, the yellow, where that really light shade is going to be. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and paint that yellow in really quickly. Now, again, I've not cleaned my brushes or my paint palette out. You guys know me all too well now. Oh boy, that didn't work right there. I didn't realize I had that wet. Alright, well, we'll put a little yellow in there. That can't hurt, right? And then I'm going to dry that because this is all wet now. And what's going to happen is if I put my blue on top of that, what will happen? I'll have green, which I don't want. So that almost looks like one of those, what do they call them, Johnny jump ups, which should be coming up pretty soon. Alright, let's go into a blue. Mix that up. Clean off that and go back in with some clean water. Try this again. Now see, I'm doing a glaze. I can go right over that yellow now. As long as it's dry, you can do that. And then I'm going to tap in some of that blue. I'm going to let that just kind of bleed into some of that area. Just like that. So I didn't plan on these being more blue. I wanted it more purple, but I think the blue and the yellow go nicely together too. That's still wet. Let's create a little bit of purple. I want a nice deep shade. And I'm going to add that right to the edge here. We'll see what that dries like. In the meantime, I'm going to go into this one and do the same thing. But I start with blue, right? Oh, that's brighter blue. And then a little bit of purple again. Just let that go where it wants to go. I'm not going to fuss with it too much. We'll move on to this side. We're going to make this one a quick one, you guys. We'll see. I always say that and then get into it, and then that's not. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So that, obviously I hit where that water was, and look what happens. It blends right into it. That's okay. Again, we like to let the watercolors do what they want to do, and sometimes that gives you the best outcome. And sometimes it doesn't. But a lot of times it does. I have that really wet, so I'm going to wait on that one. So you see it's got some good puddles in there. So let's go into this side. This one I'm going to actually go in just with a color. You can see the difference that this will do when you just paint it in. So it's not as wet, right? Now it's touching that one, so some of that is moving over. You can see I have a nice puddle here. So what I'm going to do is wet or dry my brush off on the side. Just pick up some of that paint. Now I don't have to wait quite as long for it to dry. Come in here a little bit in the middle. And then let's go in with that deep purple again. And you'll notice over here on my paint palette, I've got just this little tiny drop here. And it's not, I want a fairly thick pigment. I don't want a lot of water in there. So I can go in and go a little darker. I think I'm going to go over on this one again. That's still wet, so I can still work in there. And I'm just using the top of the brush and just doing a little tapping motion. And I think these are like three or four little dots in the middle. I'm making it bigger now because I'm not really sure if it's 4 or 2 or 3. So we'll just spread it out there. And that way you can't tell. Okay, so we have that part done. Let's go ahead and see how we do for time. I'm going to paint in these little petals. And I got a little tint on my brush here so you can actually see the colors a little bit. And I'm just giving it a nice light wash, not real heavy with water, just a little. And then let's do a nice, just go with a nice, well, you know what? I know those are really dark, but I think I want a little bit of lemon yellow in there. I want to make it very vibrant. So I'm going to go in with this yellow first. And then I'm seeing on this side. Yellows and purples are complementary colors, so they're really pretty against one another. And that means that they're across from each other on the color wheel. And now I'll go in with a little bit of green. Make it a darker green. And let's just tap that on top of that. Let them mix up. Do a little mixing together. And see what we get. I want it that yellow. Not on the edges anyway. Okay. And I probably could throw a little bit even darker shade in here, mixing some more blue and bring that right up into the flower. We'll let that move. And I can't see this one under here, but I can go a little darker maybe around the flower. That's going to give you a little bit of shadow, right? I like that color so much. Let's put some in here too. Okay, dry that. We're doing good. Okay, those are dry, and now I'm going to use the tip of the brush. And I'm going to go in even darker, a darker green. Add a little bit more blue to that, maybe even a little bit of the umber to that. And then we can create some of that line work in here. Boy, that's really dark, isn't it? I think that's going to be a little bit too dark, but that's okay. And I'm going to go back into the flower, and again I want it a little bit darker in here, so I'm going to add a little bit of water just around the outside. I'm going to go out far enough here so that when I go into this darker shade, it will blend a little bit. And just a couple little taps here and there. That's pretty. And give that a quick try. All right, and this is what we talk about when we layer or do washes. Obviously I'm doing this really quickly. I've got a little bit of line here. But again, if I wanted to go in a little bit darker, I could do a whole wash right on top of that and you wouldn't see that. But for our class or our video today, I'm just going to go in with some really dark purple. Again, not a lot of water. You can see this is pretty thick consistency. And I'm just going to give myself a little extra line work in here. And it's difficult to do because I'm using just the tip of that brush. Just to give it a little bit of extra pizzazz. Just a few little lines. And then I think I want to go in a little bit darker on these, only because that dark green was just a little bit too dark. So we'll go with a lemony green shade, go right over that and see if we can soften that a little bit. There we go. That's better. I don't want to lose all of that yellow, but just go a little bit here. Okay. And then for that center, I think I'm going to grab myself a little white gel pen. Oh, I'm all out. It dried up. Okay, so we'll use some white gouache. I'll use my little brush that comes in the Cotman kit. I tell you what, this little brush and a 3/4 inch brush was all I used for all of my live classes when I was first teaching my students. So if you have an oval wash brush and a small detail brush, you can do just about anything when you're first starting out. So you don't need to spend a whole lot of money in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight a couple of those little spots in the middle. like that. And then, do we want to do pen and ink on that today? I'm not sure if I do or not. I might do one more wash. You could also do the little white fuzzies and stuff on here if you wanted to. Give it a little texture on your leaf. Just a few here and there. There we go, detailing again. Sorry. I think I want to do a little bit of pen and ink in here too. Just to outline this a little bit more. Can't stand it. I don't know if I want to do it or not. Not a big deal. You guys will have to let me know if you like the pen and ink look, or if you like it when I leave it raw. I'm just going to go over this one more wash and see what happens here. Just wanted it a little bit more vibrant. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I think I'm done. And let me know about the pen and ink thing. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you think I should add more to that, because I can always add more. Harder to take away, easier to add more. So this is day 5 of the flower challenge. Seeing some really pretty flowers. The poppies yesterday were absolutely gorgeous. What is today's date? You know, you lose track of days. Like, well, where am I? Who am I? Violet. All right, guys, that's it. I will see you tomorrow. And tomorrow's flower is not the cone flower, because the cone flower I think was the last day, right? The flower for tomorrow is going to be, I'm looking it up. Can you tell I'm cheating? You'd think I'd know this because I say it every single day for the past, how many days? 5 days. It's going to be, oh yeah, the lilac. I love lilacs. Lilacs and lavenders are really pretty. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you tomorrow. But first of all, I wanted to share with you a second one. I couldn't stand it. I wanted to see what it's going to look like with pen and ink, and I didn't want to mess this one up. So I just painted a second one. And I went in a little bit deeper with some of the colors. It took me actually less time than it did the first one because I have already done it. And so I went around with a pen and ink. I also lifted a little bit out so you can see some highlights in there. And then I added a little bit more white gouache. And this one I think really pops. It just kind of took it to that next level. I spent a little bit more time on this one. I also added a background where I just wet the area around it and then added some light yellow and a little bit of green and then a little bit of blue, and did just a little bit of splattering in here as well, just so I could have, you know, a little bit of a background, and so you could see what it would look like. Really quick to add a background to. If you just put the water in there and add some color to it, some splats, and voila, it's done. And it just makes it really pop off rather than just having it on that white background. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you click that like button, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.